Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Um, we're expecting more people to join us as we go along. I don't know if you can hear me. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Grace and Toby, for joining in today. I would like you guys to actually turn on your videos as we have this fireside chat. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, I don't want us to delay at all. This is being streamed on YouTube. So, if people can join early enough, they can actually get to watch on YouTube, right? So I believe we can start immediately. Toby, are you there? Oh, okay, good. He's here.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much. I think I would like to read out your bios before we start so that people can, get to know you guys a little bit
Okay.
and about what you do. So let me go ladies first.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Grace Obole is a blockchain app developer with over 4 years of experience in front-end development and active learning in the blockchain space. Our experience has provided her with the innovative and technical skills necessary to successfully provide any company with multifaceted technical solutions across a wide range of software platforms, including the Web3 space. Grace is a writer and an author of 2 ebooks. Welcome, Grace.
Hi.
Thank you.
Good to be
Thank
here.
you so much once again. Um, let me go for Toby Emmanuel. So Oluwatobi Emmanuel is an experienced designer, a software engineer, and entrepreneur, consistently crafting valuable, beautiful, and usable designs that solves complicated problems using design thinking, visual design, rapid prototyping, software development, and interaction skills. He's the founder of Concrete, a platform building smart tech talents in Africa, with over 6 years of combined professional experience working on fintech and traditional digital products. Oluwatobi combines engineering and design skills to build amazing products in different tech startups. Welcome, Toby. So we actually had more turn up on Zoom, yesterday, and I mean the house was like very full. So, but I want us to just dive right in because I don't want us to finish up late. So I think the first question is for you guys to tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into this tech space, your tech journey, how you started out, basically. So I think Grace will go first, then Toby goes next.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Grace once again. All right, so how I started my journey in tech is just 6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago, I went for a church program, but that church program was like teaching people skills and all of that. Then I went to the Java part of it reluctantly. I just wanted to know what are they doing in Java and all of that. Then I sat down and started learning, and lo and behold, I could use Java to solve mathematical problem. Actually, then I was in 100 level studying mathematics, so I was super excited. Okay, I can use Java to solve math. Then I was interested in coding Java and I started learning Java. As at that time, I did not have laptop. So the brother that actually did the program was giving me this laptop every weekend so that I can be coding in Java. Then when I got my laptop, I continued, but it was quite hard in the sense that Java was getting too deep and I could not fathom, I could not comprehend it again. So I just had to speak with him and say, hello, bro, I don't think I can continue Java. Is there anything I can learn just to help me learn Java better and faster? Then he introduced me to go into web development. which I am currently, and I still am, and I don't think I will go back to Java and all of that. So yeah, that was actually how I started front-end development, and I started coding. Then last year I came across blockchain, and yeah, it was really interesting to me because as at that time, right, I was already getting tired of front end. I should know, like, in the sense that, like, there are a lot of things to learn, doing almost the same thing over time and all of that. So when I came across blockchain, I was super excited, and I was like, okay, I need to get into this, start coding, because my front end skills is actually needed in this space. So it was like a plus for me. So I could grab it like very easily and all of that. And that was how I started. And that was how I started in the blockchain space. And that's my journey. Then how did I find purpose in it? Is that part of the question? Yeah, so finding purpose was just I don't know. It just started like, okay, I'm interested in this. No, one of the reasons I also went to mathematics was like, I'm actually interested in solution, right? Purpose comes from like your passion, what you love to do, what you when you see something and you don't feel good about it, you should check it, like it might be something that you should actually look into to provide solution to, right? So like that's purpose. So one of the things that I really love to do is to provide solution, and I see it, and I see tech space as that kind of space where you can build to provide solutions to problems of people, right? So yeah, that was how I just found my way around, and since then I've just been there, and it's been ups and downs definitely, but yes, it's been good. It's been a good ride.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. Toby can just go. You are muted.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to find a angle here. Okay, so I meant to share my journey, right?
Yes, your journey into tech, how you started, and then how you found your purpose in what you're doing currently.
Okay, so I am a natural artist. All right. So I'm an artist basically, and I came to the university to actually study art. That's what I came to university to do. And but when I got into the university, I discovered that I can do a lot more than just using pencil and pen and drawing here and there. I can do a lot more than that, right? I can actually draw on the computer. Wow. So that's an amazing stuff for me. So then I was searching every nook and cranny in the university to look for someone that can teach me how to draw on the computer. Then I met someone who introduced me to this thing called CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is not very common these days anymore, anyway. But so I learned CorelDRAW, and from CorelDRAW, that was where I discovered graphics. I was so much passionate about graphics because, as an artist, then you see a way to, design stuff, add colors, mix colors, and all of that. Right. So by that time, I was already, so since I can draw on the computer, which is what I was aiming for at that time. So, I mean, which department is the best to learn that stuff, right? So I began to ask questions, and then I got a couple of departments. There is Archi, that's people that study architecture. There is art, fine arts. There's a department in fine arts where all you study is how to draw on the computer, right? How to paint and all of that. There's another department called computer science and engineering. I think those are the three major departments. Maybe there are others, I don't know. So I could have easily opted for, fine and applied arts. But while I was asking questions, I figured out that beyond just drawing on the computer, I could actually draw and then, make my drawings come alive. I could do some 3D, and then I could program how I really want those drawings to come alive and all of that. And you don't study that in fine and applied arts. You actually can learn that in computer science and engineering. So that was how I made my choice. I was like, let's go there. right? So when I got into the department, it was a total different game entirely. It was a department of writing some gibberish on the computer and deploying some applications here and there. And I'm like, what are we doing here? So anyway, it took me time. I fell in love with that part of the department, but that was not what we were taught in the department anyway. So I'm a self-taught developer or software engineer, let me say. So in those days, I paid for tutorials here and there. People were organizing, tutorials. I had to pay, go and learn Java. So I started with Java actually, building all these Java applets application, all those Nokia 3310 applications, right? That's what I started with. And then I was learning alongside my seniors then. Most of the people that I was learning with, they were my seniors in school, right? So I was learning, I started with Java, moved to C#, and then from C#, I started learning and things like HTML and CSS. Most of the times there was nobody to really teach us some of these things then. Then there was no Udemy, there was no Coursera, there was nothing, right? So you basically have your seniors or yourself. And the information about how you can learn what you need to learn is scattered. The only platform that gathered all those information into one place then was Stack Overflow, right? So we visit Stack Overflow a lot. But that was how I got into tech, okay? So I practically studied computer science and engineering in school. So it's not just the software or the science part. I also did a lot when it comes to hardware development. For example, I co-built the first RFID system in my CSA lab in school with my lecturer, right? So he would do the engineering part, put the electronics together, sold everything. I will write the code, we'll upload it on the IC, blah, 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 and all of that. So that was how I started my journey into tech. But at some point, as a natural artist, and my aim, remember, my aim was I want to be able to draw on the computer, do 3D stuff, and do animation, all right? So all this programming thing was just a, by the way kind of thing. Anyway, I fell in love with it. So, so as a natural artist, I fell in love more with design. So for about 3 to 4 years of my career, or let me say of my journey into tech, I was focusing majorly on design. I'm focusing majorly on design, right? Design for about 3 to 4 years. So I learned how to do product design, experience design, learned a lot about that, worked with companies, mostly startups, fintech and blockchain startups, basically, right? But I also know how to build applications, all right? But I just didn't practice it for about 4 to 5 years until a time came in the companies that I was working with. They discovered that I could, build websites and then, do some things about back end and front end. So they started giving me tasks, even though I was employed as a product designer. So I started playing in 3 fields: product design, back end, and software, right? So that was how my journey started. And well, here we are today. All right.
Thank you so much for that. Can you talk a bit about how you found a sense of purpose in it? Because it looks like you are doing a whole lot of things in tech. So I mean, there has to have been something that keeps you motivated, until now.
Okay, so I will still start from that part where it's about, for me, it's about, I want to be able to draw on the computer, all right? I'm a natural artist and I want to advance that ability, all right? I want to be able to do a lot more. I figured out that people do, that was when I learned about character development. So, there are people that build games. So as a natural artist, I can create characters on the computer and sell it to those guys. Maybe make a 3D version of that character, and all of that. I can sell it to those guys, make a lot of money. That's part of it. All right. But I want to advance that ability. I want to improve it. Okay. And that's what got me into that space in the first place. All right. Then I figured out that there are a whole lot of things. And while I was making my research and asking questions around, then I found out that there is a peak of that particular goal for me. The career in that space is called industrial design, right? So, and then I figured out that to be an industrial designer, there is a whole lot you need to know, right? It's not just about, drawing and making 3D and all of that. You also have to know software engineering. You have to know how to build hardwares. You have to know engineering processes, basically. So my goal at the end of the day is to become an industrial designer, right? And that's a purpose for me. All right, that's a purpose for me. And not just that, I am passionate about education. All right, I want to be able to teach what I know to other people, right? And I've been doing that since my university days, right? And I started by teaching people the IDX, all right? Mathematics, physics, and chemistry, and all of that, right? But I also want to be able to teach, people my values, the things I know, all right? So that's another point that makes it a sense of purpose for me, right? And then figuring out that I have to know how to do software development. I have to know how to do product design. I need to know how to build hardwares. I need to know how to draw, make 3D and animation and all of that. Those are things that I really need to know to be able to, get to this place of purpose. And then I have a principle when I learn anything, I'm not just learning for myself, I'm learning because I also want to be able to teach others that same thing, right? So that also adds to the reasons why it became a sense of purpose for me. And because of that, I was able to, figure out the things I need to learn, right? And, some people would say, hey, Toby, you are doing a lot of things, and that's jack of all trades. Well, anyway, for me, it's not jack of all trades, right? It's about, I have a goal, which is becoming an industrial designer. And then I know that to become an industrial designer, these are the things I need to know, right? And then not just that, I also want to be able to teach what I know to help people, right? To build, to help them build a better career. All right, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's how I find a sense of purpose in that. Okay.
Thank you so much. That was really insightful. So I feel like what both of you have shared for that drives on the points that I spoke about yesterday. First and foremost, you need to have a particular vision in mind. Like you need to have an end goal to everything you're doing. And then second, you must be ready to learn. You must be ready to learn everything that it takes. A lot of young people nowadays feel like they can actually just jump there, or become that, make that kind of money, because they're still going to the money part. Actually, people are really interested in how do you make money in tech and all of that. So people feel like you can jump there, but Grace sharing that she even had to be borrowing somebody's laptop every weekend, just to learn until she was able to get hers. And then when it got difficult, she still kept going, and then she found areas that she had interest in. And then she also found opportunities within the industry. So when blockchain came in, she dived in immediately. Toby sharing about his journey, like basically all parts of software engineering, and but with the goal of becoming an industrial engineer and all of that. It just drives home that point that the journey doesn't or the old transformation or achieving that level of success does not happen in a day, and it could actually get tough. So it's like, I'm so happy that you guys are talking about the part of your experience that was difficult. Even though you didn't have all the resources that you needed at the start, you still found ways to ensure that you're able to learn. And one thing that drove you and one thing that kept you going is knowing that you wanted to achieve something bigger than just doing doing what is required of you and all of that, you wanting to go into education and teaching people what you know, shows that there's something more to what you're doing. So that makes you drive for excellence, in the path that you've chosen and all of that. So I don't want to take too much time, repeating, but I want everyone to be able to understand that it may not be easy. You may not have all you need, but you must actually have a vision and a purpose in mind to keep you going every single day. So the next question is, how did you know you would pursue a career in tech? I know you may have touched on this a bit, but I want you to maybe answer more directly. Toby had that mind of wanting to, create pictures with computers, do 3D and all of that. But is there anything else that influenced your choice? Like, do you have like do you make intentional decisions, about, okay, seriously, I'm going into tech and that's what I'm facing. I'm going to software and that's what I'm facing like for the rest of my life, or at least for the foreseeable future. So I don't know if you guys can just touch on that a little bit, before we go into the next. Who's going first? Maybe Toby should go first this time.
Who goes first? Grace, right?
Yeah, so you can go first, please.
Okay. Yeah. So as I've mentioned before, one of my goal is to be able to create pictures on the computer. But while I was doing that, while I was learning that, and let me share a little bit of experience that in that. So I was learning CorelDRAW, and then my teacher then would teach me something today, and then I would go home, I would learn something else, and then I'll come back to the class, and then I'll say, look at what I've done. My teacher would be like, hey, did you do this? I say, yes. Come and teach me, right? So even though I paid for that, it came to a point where we started teaching ourselves things. So he would teach me something, I would have to teach him what I learned again. All right, so that's a lot of fun for me, right? So, but while I was doing that, I figured out that I cannot just create these pictures and make 3D of them. I could actually make an animation of them, right? It's like putting life into a still life drawing or a static image. All right. Wow, that's interesting. So how can I do that, right? Then while I was asking questions and then talking to people around, I've also figured out that to do that is not just about using some sort of application that has been built, that you just import your image and create the animation. You can actually create the behavior of that kind of animation. For example, let's say a character. So that was where I learned about programming, because if you want to be able to do that, you have to program that behavior into that kind of image or something. And then that was when I've forgotten the name of this program. That was when it was common in After Effects, right? You can write a program in After Effects to create a behavior for your character or for your animation. Wow. So that was where I learned programming. Now, an event followed that. So by this time, I had already figured out that, okay, I want to, learn how to program and all of that. Which department? I think I mentioned that the other time. So I went for computer science and engineering. So there was an event that followed. So the people in our department, our seniors then, they came and told us about programming, becoming a developer and all of that. So then I didn't have a laptop. So while I was learning CorelDRAW and all of that, I was using someone else's laptop, right? So so I had to call my mom and say, okay, mommy, I need a laptop. I want to really know what this programming is. Don't forget, I have a goal. I want to be able to program and animate my still life drawings and all of that on the computer. All right. So I started with Java, and then I figured out, so while we were doing Java, the whole thing it looks like a lot of fun for me. And I'm someone that like mathematics. I like to, calculate. And that's a big part of programming, really, right? Or being a developer, right? So we started building all these small applets and all of that. We started building those Java programs, those applications. And I was like, wow, so I can even manipulate how a smartphone or a phone that people use to make calls, I can even manipulate the behavior of that phone. Wow, right? So at that point, I had already figured out how to, I just didn't have an in-depth knowledge, but I already figured out how to, create animations, which is my major goal. And then I figured out that I can do a lot more than that, right? That was the point where I made a decision that, you know what, we are going to go into this tech. And then it is not as if, people are shouting around about tech. Tech career. All we knew is let's learn programming. Nobody even knew that we were doing tech. Like it is, the real, professional or technical name for that stuff is a tech career. We didn't even know, right? Then there was nothing like that. So it was just, oh, let's learn this programming. Because if I learn this programming, it will help me to achieve this goal. It will help me achieve that goal, which is a sense of purpose for me, right? So that was how I was able to figure out that I want to go into this tech, right? I want to really do this. And then we started hearing about a lot of programming languages, a lot of things in tech. Our seniors were telling us things, and based on the things we were learning, and it was like, there's a whole lot of things to learn, but we started learning it one by one, layer by layer. All right. Yeah. So that was how I was able to figure it out.
Oh, thank you so much
Yeah.
for sharing that. I think one point that kept standing out was the fact that you really didn't have, it was not as if you had the full picture, or you felt that, okay, you're maybe on a very successful path, or maybe one day you're going to grow, in this path, but you kept learning as it was required of you, right? Like, okay, you needed to achieve this particular goal. What do you need to learn in order to achieve it? And that kept you going. That helped you define exactly what areas you needed to gather knowledge and expertise in. So thank you. Grace, please, can you share on how you chose to pursue a career in tech?
Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, it was because I like to solve problems, and I see tech as the space to actually, like, at least, it's not that in every other aspect they can be, like in business, agriculture. Yes, we eat food, definitely that has a problem being solved. So yeah, but there are a lot of technical issues that we have that can be solved with technology, and which is one of the reasons I actually try to pursue tech. That's one. And then second one, when I started front end, then I loved what I was seeing. I actually love design. And then when I code like a website, I'm super happy. It gives me joy. That kind of, so because of that, I wanted to continue. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to keep doing it, and I wanted to just be the best front end dev ever. Which, like, I don't know if that makes sense. I just want to be the best version of myself. Be me, be good to that point that nobody will see me and want to say, you don't need that kind of thing. So yeah, that was just the goal, right? Be very good at what I do, that nobody sees me and wants to say no, but they want to actually accept that kind of thing. So yeah, that was how it went. Just solving problem, providing solutions, and then enjoying what I do.
Yes, thank you so much. Yesterday I was emphasizing the fact that although your purpose is about you, it's what you love to do, it's your interest and everything, but it's not always for you. It's not just to make money. It's not just it's not just for yourself. It's to solve problems for others. It's to be able to serve people and all of that. And I'm glad to see that we've actually seen software as a way to solve problems, in society, and you are driving for excellence. Like that one is like it's like a game changer for me, because if you are trying to do something and you are just trying to do it just because then there's no way anybody can, identify you or single you out as outstanding. So being able to drive for excellence is also key. Learning something once you are practically the best in that field. So we've touched on the next question a bit. So maybe we'll just jump to the next after that. I would have asked about how did you know which aspect of tech to choose, but I think you both be able to share about that. So for the next thing is, what are the roadblocks that you've experienced so far in a tech career? There are different kind of challenges in different kind of careers, but in tech, what challenges have you experienced that you feel like is quite peculiar to tech, and probably share how you are you've been able to overcome some of them, or are trying to overcome some of them, or are handling them. So just basically challenges, roadblocks. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going first here. Okay, so one of the major challenges is actually intimidation, and I think that's very popular in the tech space. And seeing your mates doing so well, getting cars, getting houses, and then you're just there, just learning HTML, that kind of thing. So you tend to get intimidated like very quickly, and yeah, I see that as a problem. I think it's normal. Well, we are all humans. Like, you tend to, this person is doing so well. What am I doing with my life? When you see a 15-year-old guy doing so well, like, Chris, what are you doing with your life? Oh, what were you doing when you were 15? You were watching movie, that kind of thing. So, so yeah, it's normal, right? But one of the ways to overcome intimidation is actually to celebrate people's win with them. It's just like Temidayo now is doing well, and I'm like, oh my god, it's doing well, and I'm so capitalizing on that. I won't even move forward because I'm so focused on you, right? But when you celebrate people's win with them, it tends to challenge you to even do more, which is one way to actually overcome intimidation. And when you do more, you see your own results yourself, you are happy and you are elated. Celebrating little wins also help. Whatever, no matter how small your success is, celebrate it. Like, be happy about it. That's where those people you are seeing up there, that's how they started. They started small and then they are big, right? So you also celebrate your little wins, and also you can be able to get to where those people you are looking up to get to. Another thing is imposter syndrome. This is very common. Like, thinking you don't know something when you actually know it. It's actually very big. It's something I also battled with a lot of it, right? Like coding. When I want to introduce myself to someone and be like, okay, I'm learning front-end development, and when they now ask me that, okay, so what am I learning? HTML, CSS. I'll be so shy and so afraid to even say that, okay, I'm learning this, I'm learning that. One, because I don't want them to feel I'm low. Two, what if they ask questions? What if I can't answer? And that kind of thing. It's really a big problem in the tech space, which you can overcome a lot with teaching people your skill. Yeah, it can help you, because when you teach, you don't teach what you don't know. In fact, you will be blabbing, right? You will be skipping. So when you teach, that means you know what you are doing. There are times that I don't even know. I don't know myself that I know so much about this thing until I start talking about it, right? So it was when I start talking about it that I know, wow, so I know this deep, and I don't even know I know this much. But when I start talking about it, like, I tend to know that, okay, yeah, I think I know something. I'm not like a novice in this aspect. Actually, I have like quite of knowledge in this aspect. So yeah, it helps you, and that was one of the things that helped me. I love to teach. I've trained a lot of people in the tech space, like a lot. I've been part of a team that trained over 3,000 young ones. I've trained 12 people in and outside Nigeria. I've trained a lot of people here, like working with the team and also personal training, right? So it has really helped me to shape my own confidence in my work, right? Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't even know that, okay, I can teach. I'm known to that point where I can teach. There's a guy I follow called Ajiluda. Okay, if I'm just learning front end today, the person that don't even know what front end is, you are better than the person. Why? Because you already know what front end is. That means you can teach that person. You can teach that person the little you know. I'm even teaching that person the little you know. You have the confidence that, okay, now I know this and I'm super good at it. I can talk about it, right? It is very, very essential. Another one is also oppression. I think oppression is related to intimidation. Yeah, there's a lot of oppression in the tech space, like oppress, especially on LinkedIn. When you go to LinkedIn, you'll be seeing I'm starting a new position, billionaire at 19, um different stuff, different. You get, like, even people started putting age to their success. Millionaire at 13. I'm a software engineer at 13. Like, they just oppress people. Well, that might not be their intention. They might just be sharing their own success story, but it can be like a form of oppression to people, right? One of the ways to just overcome that, just follow your process, right? There are times that, like, some years ago, I'm not where I am now. Some years ago, I can't even afford a laptop for me. Like, some years ago, I can't buy a phone for myself. I need to go and cry to my daddy. Daddy, come and buy a phone for me. But now it's a different story, right? So there are some things you can't do before and you can do now. That's just what it is. That 13-year-old guy that is saying, okay, oh, he's a software engineer at 13. You don't know when he started coding. Maybe it's from his mother's womb. So yeah, right. So we can't just use people's story to get us oppressed. And one of the things oppression do for us is just to make us look at ourselves as if we are nothing, and that can actually stop us from growing. One thing you should look at in your career is to grow, no matter how small. Try to grow and each and every day. So these are the things that actually help you to grow, no matter the challenges and all of that. So those are like moral or mental challenges. There are some challenges that were faced, like school, right? Combining school with work and all of that. Like I mentioned, I studied mathematics, and one of the things I'm grateful for is because I studied mathematics. If I hadn't studied mathematics, I don't know if I would be in tech, actually, because mathematics is something I grasp very quickly, right? So I just try to do time management most of the time. I also go to church. Yeah, so it's something that it just have to be planned. I code more when I was in school, yeah, but I go to class. I don't miss classes. I don't miss tests, right? You know, there are some people that be like, school is a scam, and they just forsake school. No, it's better you do it excellently well. These are things even companies you want to work with will check. They will check if you are the type that finish something when you start it. And now you are telling me that, okay, you want to drop out. People actually make Mark Zuckerberg as example, but do you know if Mark Zuckerberg continue with school? Do you know the kind of family Mark Zuckerberg came from? Do you know even if he has 10 certificates currently? We don't know. It was just that story you read and started capitalizing on it, right? So trying to, even want to start career, anything, is just, everything is on you. Just have to decide. So it can be like a challenge, combining school, combining work, and all of that. You just have to sit down on yourself and know when it's best for you to read, when it's best for you to work. And then you can combine the two. There are people that have combined it and they did excellently well. Actually, when I entered Twitter, I saw a brother that did excellently well in tech and also in school. He had 4.20 as his CGPA. I was like, wow, I want to be like this brother. But then that was just where I saw, like, that was the highest I saw, right? But then moving forward, but I was already into the other level. There's nothing I can do again. I was chasing 4.2. But there's a friend of mine, he graduated with first class and he's doing so well in tech, right? He had a first class. He was the best student in his department. So now it's now occurs to me that, oh, so I can have first class and still do well in my career. It's something that is very, very possible. Everything is just time management. So school can be a challenge, but it just depends on you, how you time manage yourself, knowing when you read, knowing when you sleep, knowing when you do all of that. Another challenge is, which is the last one actually. Another challenge is actually um knowing what to learn, knowing not what to learn. This has actually affected a lot of people, and that's where mentorship comes in. Don't be too proud to talk to someone higher than you in the system or in the space. So let's say you're learning design, and then you're just on your own, learning. Then you now come, I'm not making money. I don't know what is going on. No, do you have someone you actually talk to? Do you have someone that's giving you guideline on learn this, don't learn this? Because people that are there already knows what companies, industries are looking for. But when you are there learning something that has gone obsolete, it can actually affect your career growth, right? So knowing what to learn can actually be a challenge. There will be times that it will be so overwhelming, especially in front end. A lot of things to learn: data structure and algorithm, React, Redux, Nest.js, everything on your head. Like, oh my God, how do I want to go about this thing and all of that? But when you actually talk to someone, they actually tell you, even those ones, you don't even need to learn them deeply, but at least know how to use them and know how to use them well. So these are the trainings you get, advices you get from mentors, which will actually help you to navigate through your career. So knowing what to learn is actually a very big deal. And I would advise having, if you don't want the person to be your mentor, at least you can go to the person. So I've learned this, what next can I learn? Or what next can I do? Do you understand? What next can I do? What can I do to make me get a job? These are questions that will help you as you grow in your career. And that's one of the challenges people face a lot. They don't learn what is needed. They are learning unnecessary things, and they start complaining that their career is not going, they're not making money and all of that. So yeah, these are important, these are challenges that are faced actually personally, and I've actually stated how we can overcome this so that your own journey won't be as long, right? It won't be as long. That's one of the reasons we have teachers. That's one of the reasons we have elders. It is foolish of you to make the same mistake. That's why they are before you, right? So you can go to them, make some correct. So instead of 6 years that your seniors spent, you can spend 4 years and be where they are, right? So yeah, that's it.
Wow, you really touched on a lot of things. So I'm just so glad. Toby, please, can you also share?
Okay, Grace, I've really said a lot of things. So um, let me just say, so when I was learning, right? So I'll talk about my personal challenges. When I started learning, we started in the days where tech is not that advanced in Nigeria. All right. Like I said the other time, there was no Udemy, there was no Coursera, there was nothing. All right. So you can only pick some information online. So, and then we started in the days where even our seniors then, they were just learning too, right? So it's like the person that you're expecting to teach you is also just learning this thing. So it's like everybody just don't know anything. We are just learning this thing. But because they are seniors, they've learned some things. So they taught us the little that they know. So let me share this story. So when I was just learning in school, I was more focusing on design and just picking development by the side. Okay. So my laptop got stolen. Okay, I don't have a laptop. And the thing about programming, or if you are choosing programming in tech, right? The thing about programming is very volatile. It's like chemistry, right? If you don't practice it consistently, you just forget a lot of things. So that time, I don't have a laptop. I have nothing. You know what I was doing? There's something called dry running. As a developer, you should know this. There's something called dry running code. So what you do when you dry run code is that the code you are supposed to use, you are supposed to be using your computer to write. You are going to be using your pen and your notepad to write those code until the day you find a computer. Then you write what you have written down in your notepad, then you write into the computer and try to run that, that program. That's the hardest part of things for me. So, so I don't have a laptop. All I need to do to learn is to start writing code with my pen and paper. I did that for a long time until I met a lady in my department who decided to give me one mini laptop that was that was almost gone. Like the laptop was almost, but I picked that laptop and I maximized the opportunity, right? I maximized the opportunity. And what gave me that opportunity was that in my department, I think the first, if they're looking for a designer, the first 3 people, I think my name will be in the first 3 people, right? So I had an opportunity to work with a lot of my seniors that are going for competitions and all of that. They don't know who to design for them. So I'm the best guy in the department. So they contact me and all of that. So through that, I knew someone who knew this lady, right? And while I was doing all of that, I was still teaching people the YDX and all of that. So, and this lady needs to know some things about a course. So it was like, okay, can you borrow me your laptop? And then that's your payment for this, for teaching you this. All right. It's more of a friendly stuff, but that conversation came up. All right. So I quitted writing codes in my notepad and I started using this mini laptop to write the codes. And then because the laptop was not too strong, it can't give me what I need. So I couldn't write a lot of Java codes and C# codes. So I was writing more of Pascal because that's what I could do then. So I was still writing a lot of my Java code and my C# code. I was still writing in my notes. I still have those notes till today, right? So that was one big challenge for me. My laptop was stolen. And then another challenge is, those were the days, like Grace said, those days where I'm figuring out what should I learn and what should I not learn. But because then tech is not that advanced in Nigeria, so nobody really knows what to learn. So Pascal comes, learn. C#, learn. Bootstrap, learn. What do you call it? I mean, anything comes by you, just grab and start learning. That's it. Learn Laravel, learn PHP, learn C#, learn an Ionic, today. So just learn anything that comes. So, and that's a big problem, right? Because I mean, you learn this today, you've getting a hang of that stuff. You are learning another stuff, and then you are learning this, and you're learning that, and then you're learning that. So you get to a point where you are half-baked in all of those things. You really don't know them in depth. So when you are given to do, you start learning again because you want to do that stuff. You want to be able to do. So you start learning. It's like you start learning that thing again. And that is this thing that you have been learning for a while. And because you have to learn a whole lot of things, right? It becomes a serious challenge. But anyway, so how did we overcome that stuff? How did I overcome it? So I came to a point where I had to put my foot on the ground and say, you know what? I don't want all of these things anymore. For now, I want to focus on design. And then I did design for a long time. That necessarily does not mean I threw out all of that things. I wasn't learning them. All right. What I was doing to learn that stuff then was, okay, now I've designed a website. How can I convert this website to HTML and CSS code in front end? All right. So that was how I was learning programming by the side. Okay. So, but I have a focus for a particular period of time. Then when I get to a point where I'm satisfied, I can handle a project, I know what doing that project professionally means in that line of career or in that line of, in that field, I'm satisfied, I can handle things. Then I move to something else. And that was how I was able to learn a whole lot of things. And don't forget, one of the things that was driving me was because I have a goal in mind. I have a purpose in mind. I know what I want to become. And I know that these are things I need to learn along the way. So it's not just that I'm now picking a lot of things like I was doing before. So after learning design, I know I need to learn animation. I need to learn 3D design. So I picked those things, right? And then I came to a point where I need to know software development. And in software development, there's a whole lot of things, front end, back end, and all of that. You can be a solutions architect. There's a whole lot of careers in tech, all right? So I picked the ones I really need to know, right? And then I started learning it. Okay, but I make sure that I was not learning too many things at the same time. I learn one until I'm able to get a hang of it and I can undo that stuff when I'm given a task to do. Then I move to the next. All right. So that was how I was able to overcome that particular challenge. Then in our days, there was no mentor. All right. there was, there were people doing well in tech, right? And there were people that we didn't meet in school that had left school maybe 3-4 years before we came to school, and they are doing well in tech. Some of our seniors knew them then, all right? But these people, they just got into that trade. They are also building their career. Tech is not so advanced in Nigeria. And I'm talking about the time when companies like InterSwitch started. All right. InterSwitch was one of the companies that built the payment infrastructure in Nigeria. So those were those times. Some of our seniors were working at InterSwitch then. Right. So they didn't even have time to be giving back to the community or coming back to people, come back to schools like we do in these days to come and tell people about these things, mentor people and all that. So there was nothing like mentorship. There was nothing like that. There's no Udemy, there's no Coursera, there's no LinkedIn, there's no free code camp. There's nothing, like literally nothing. You have Google and you have YouTube and Stack Overflow to yourself. All right. And that's really a serious issue. So what that meant for me was that I failed many times, right? I was given a project, I failed, didn't do it well. Sometimes I didn't finish the project, disappointed the person, just because I didn't know what to do. I get to a point, I just hang, right? I couldn't finish that stuff and all of that. So mentorship is a real big problem in my time then. So, but there were a few of my seniors who also graduated about 2-3 years before I graduated, who got into a place where, based on their experience, they learned a lot. And those were people who I was close to because I've been opportune to work with them to design one or two.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, I think Toby's network must have gone out. Okay, we lost you for a second there. You're muted.
So that was my network. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so because I was close to my seniors and all of that, I was able to create a relationship with them. So when they got to where they were learning their stuff and building their experience, I'm very curious. All right, I want to know stuff, right, and I want to know it in depth. And remember, one of the things that is driving me is because I don't just learn things from myself. I also want to be able to teach it. So I started asking a lot of questions. So I think that was my own mentorship journey, right? So asking people questions. There was no join this mentorship program and all of that. So I was just asking my seniors questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? And they are not really giving me, it's not like they help me write the code or they help me do the design. They just tell me, you know what, if you combine A and B, it will give you C. So I have to still go and figure out how to combine A and B to give me that C. But because I get that kind of answer, it kind of gives me some direction. All right. So I was able to, get the things done and all of that. So mentorship is another challenge. And today, there's a lot of mentorship programs, a lot of platforms and all of that. So you can really get yourself into a lot of platforms to get a mentorship and all of that. So another challenge is commitment and zeal and passion. Trust me, tech is not something you joke with when it comes to commitment. If you are not committed, I mean personal commitment now. So it's not about I get this job, it's 200K, I make a lot of money, and this job is just, I want to explore something else. So you leave that one, you move to this. No. You have to be focused and very, very committed, right? You have to be focused and committed. If you are not focused and committed, I'm not sure you can get to where you want to get to as fast as possible. Commitment is a serious issue. And I'm saying this because I've trained a lot of people and I figured out that these are their challenges. Because there's a whole lot of opportunities in tech today. So these guys want to learn one thing. They are looking for shortcuts. All right, let me learn this, let me learn that. As long as I can get this, I want to start making millions. And like Grace said, LinkedIn is one of the places that, you know, mislead people in that area. Seriously, because they see a lot of posts. This one is making millions. That one is making, I made my first million at 29 and blah, blah, blah. They also want to do all of these things. So they are not committed. They don't want to learn that thing practically in depth. They just want to learn what can make them make the money. And then, so you have to also be committed, because let me tell you the truth. For like 3 months now, I have been doing a lot of international interviews. And there's one key thing I found out. International companies are looking for smart people. They're looking for people who actually know what they are doing and who know these things in depth, not people who just know it because they want to start making millions, right? People that are committed, their personal value, commitment is part of their personal value. Those are the people that they are looking for. And that's where the world is going to right now. So the people that are really doing well in tech, there are people that are committed to what they are doing. A lot of people are making money, yes, that's true. But there are people that are doing well. And let me share this with you. You can spend 6 years in tech and still not know anything. I just figured out that.
Hello, I think we lost you again. I must be the network. Yes, that's dropped off eventually. Okay, I guess we'll join in soon. But I believe that, okay, it's back.
I'm sorry, that's okay. So people are not committed, and it's a challenge in this industry today.
Went up again. I believe we'll be back soon. But as Toby was saying, commitment is key. Focus is also key. And one thing that I see that is common between what Grace has shared and what Toby is currently sharing is the fact that you need to talk to people who have gone ahead of you, either through a mentorship program or just simply asking questions, right? So, and then there's no quick way around it, and you should not be too carried away by people who share their testimonies or their success stories and be like, this person has gone ahead and see me here. I think I talked a bit about that yesterday, about how you should not compare yourself to other people, because it will definitely derail you. It will make you make the wrong choices. It will make you jump from one place to another without truly having any roots in any particular part. You just be doing everything all because the goal is to be like somebody else or achieve the same success that somebody else is already achieving. So and staying committed to something, it will definitely differentiate you. And like I said yesterday, you can't be committed to something you don't really find a deep connection to. You don't find a deeper meaning to other than making money out of it. Because if money is removed out of the equation, you find yourself standing without having the sense of direction. So Toby is still having issues with network, but I think we can move on to the next question because I don't want us to take too long. Grace, are you there? Okay. Grace, can you share some of your wins with us, like some of the wins you've achieved so far? And then along the line, can you answer the question of the profitability of tech? Like, do people really make money in tech, and how? Like, show us the way. So, like, just share your wins, and then how you have been able to gain financial rewards from your career in tech. And what are the requirements? Because people really want to know, what do I need to know, or what do I need to do to make money, from tech? So just share your experience generally that.
Okay, some of my wins. Well, some of my wins, like one of the major is actually that okay, I've been able to build products across different systems, like from fintech, business to Web3. Yeah, so that's one. And then two is I've been able to train a lot of people. And as a trainer, I think it's job of a trainer when you see people you've trained get started in what you train them to be and they are doing well. And as there's some of the students, one of the major students I taught.
Yeah,
You
your
can't hear
mic
me.
is.
Can you hear me now?
So we can hear you, but your mic is having this sound, this
Okay.
background sound.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
it better now?
your microphone is having this background sound. No, it's not. I don't know whether it's a connection or something.
Okay. Is it better now?
Okay, it's better.
Yes, it's better.
Okay, it's better.
Okay, I think it's the earpiece then. Okay, what was I saying?
You were talking about your wins.
Yeah. So, I said one of them. I can say that some of the students I've thought have actually secured job in front end and different aspects where they can, and also some kid. I've trained like series of people from young ones to youth to adults, right? So it's just been like a series of trainings, and yeah, like one of my students now got a job in Poland, and she's really doing well, and all of that. So yeah, it's my joy to see people I've trained do well in their career. That's actually a major win for me also. And then winning grants, yeah. Recently I won, like I and a fellow team member, we won like the first prize in a global hackathon that held in Amsterdam. Yeah, so it held in Amsterdam, and then we won grants of $5,000. Then I authored 2 books. Those are actually like very big win for me also. Working with companies outside of Nigeria is also a big one, right? Because one of the major goal of someone in tech is to work with companies outside Nigeria. We want to make money in dollars, in pounds, and all of that. Yeah. So like I work with a company in the UK, and I can say that it's been really a good experience, and it's also it's a win. It might look small, it might look big, depending on how anybody sees, but a win is a win, right? I mentioned celebrating small wins. So no matter how small, is a win. So there are times you just train 2 people, is a win, right? And then you go to training 3,000 people, that is a big win, right? So yeah, that's how it is. I've led a team of ladies, and we've won the best idea, spoken internationally and nationally. These are actually things that I can term wins, and much more than that. Yeah, so I can't actually say more, a lot of them, but yeah, those are the ones I can remember for now because I didn't actually list them. And yeah, about what's it called? About, you mentioned that you talk about is tech profitable? Yeah, yesterday I was yesterday someone was I also attended the program, and I was asked that is there money in tech? Yes, there is money in tech, but you actually have to work to get the money. It's just like you need water. That means you have to dig a hole to get the water, except rainfall, right? And rain does not fall every day. So that means you can't get water every day. So to get water every day, you actually have to dig a well
to get water every day. So that's how money is in tech. You don't just get it. You don't just get the money. It's not just profitable, right? It's something you have to work for. And when I say work for, it doesn't mean you must code 24 hours a day. No, there's working hard, there's working smart, right? The two are needed in getting the money you want in tech. So you have to work hard, which is actually very advisable, but don't be foolish in the aspect of you're just in your room. So let's say I'm a developer and nobody knows I'm a developer. That's not a smart move. One of the smart moves you can have in tech is actually putting your works and putting yourself out there. And that is why LinkedIn can be a form of motivation, oppression, intimidation for you, and also be a platform where you can get a job that can be paying you a lot of money. So it depends on what you want to use it for. So most of the time, I just go there, post what I want to post, success, wins, failures, projects, anything. But what I'm doing is actually put myself out there. I write a lot, right? I write technical articles just about what I know, which is also like a major way of expressing my love for sharing my knowledge, right? So I write, and one of the ways people know you know what you're doing is when you can teach it. I mentioned it that time. And if you write about something, that means you know it, right? You can't write what you don't know. People go online to do plagiarism, which if you are caught, you'll be charged for it, right? So if you write about something, it commands the respect that, oh, this person knows what it's doing, for him or her to be able to write about this here. So one of the ways to get the money in tech is to, one, give value. It is very important. It is not about I've completed 5 certifications in writing. Okay. You've completed, okay. So what can you do? Like, what article have you written? What have your article done to the product you've worked for? And all of that. But you can't state any of those ones. That means you don't have value. You can think, okay, you have the writing skill, but you've not used it to do anything. And it is what you use it to do that matters a lot, right? It's just like I'm a front-end dev, but nothing's in my portfolio. I mean, and I've been in tech for 6 years, right? I'll be 6 years in December. And I was just thinking about it, okay, I'll be 6 years in tech in December. Like, wow, that's a lot of years. Yeah, so now looking through that 6 years, now come to me like, what have you done? Any website you built? And I'm saying, no, but I've been taking courses, I've been, for real, who wants to give you a job? Nobody wants to give you a job if you've just been taking courses. But they have to see what you have been able to do, right? There are some projects I've gotten, there are some jobs I've gotten without interviews. Why? Because they've seen what I've been able to do. They've seen what I've done through my social media, to my portfolio, to my GitHub, through writing books, through writing articles, right? They just believe, for this girl to be able to write this much about this thing, is very good at it, right? So that's one of the ways you can get the profits in tech. It is not like Toby mentioned, there are people that have been in tech for years and they're not making the money, right? They're not making the money they want, though they might be making 20K, 50K, but really you see someone that just started last year and is making over 200K and be like, hello, bro, how did you do it? But then you should know that you cannot get the money if you are not working smart. I read an article about who is speaking for you. It's a tech guy that wrote it, who is speaking for you. And then he was talking about who mentions your name when you are not there. Right? I cannot recommend you if I've not seen what you've done. Now, if anybody wants like an industrial designer, now, like I know Toby and industrial, let's say we have like a relationship, and even if you don't have a relationship, people watch what you do, right? Especially on LinkedIn, Twitter, you can post something and maybe 10 people likes it, but a lot of impression is on it. That means a lot of people saw it, but not all of them liked it. But all those ones that had impression on it has actually seen what you are doing. I've gotten a lot of messages like, I've been seeing what you're doing and I would like you to actually take on this project with us. I mean, that line that we have been seeing what you're doing, if I go and check my likes history, the person might not even be there. He might not have liked any of my work, but yeah, he's seen what I'm doing, right? So that's how the profit comes. So it's not just by saying you're a developer. It's not just by saying you're a designer. It's not just by saying you're a whatever you want to be in tech, but what have you done? And that is what commands the money. That's what command. And when you command respect, money comes to you. You know, we're talking about when you do interview with international companies, right? One thing I like about international companies, and which is not common to Nigerian companies, is international company wants you to be as specific as possible. And what I mean by that is, what can you do for us? Okay, I can tell them that I can build front end. I can do front end. Okay, what aspect of front end? Because there are two aspects of front end. There's the UI part, conversion, and there's the consumption part where you consume APIs. Now they now ask you that, okay, which one are you so good at? If you can tell them that you can create a pixel perfect design in front end, they'll be so happy, right? They want to hire you. Okay, this person is so good in this. So they're not looking for someone that knows everything, but you know these things so deep that you can solve their own problem for them. And if you can give that to them, they are ready to hire you and pay you any amount you want, right? So that's how these people work. So, and I know that one of the major goals of tech is to work with companies outside Nigeria, make the money in dollar, change it to naira, then you are balling, right? You're a baller. So that's that's how it is. So if you want to get to that stage, if you want to get that kind of thing, these are the things these people look at. They don't just look at your resume. They look at your social media. What have you been doing on social media? They look at every of your LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Which other social media do we have? Instagram. It's like they're doing background check on you. So if you're not the type that just posts rubbish on social media, they just like, this one is on serious, right? So now getting your money in tech is not just about your skill. Every other thing is involved. That's what I'm trying to say. Every other thing is involved. And it's not just about certification. You have to build. I saw a Twitter post. I like people that I want smart learners and foolish learners. Foolish learners are the one that watch video, then they now build. But smart learners are the one watch video, build. That's the best way to learn. When you are learning by doing, and it is because of what you've done that it is on that basis, right, that you get hired on, or you get hired for anybody that wants to reach out to you, right? It is what they have to see what you've done so that they can actually place you in a high rank, right? So now I was talking about who is speaking for you. So nobody can speak for you when they are not even sure what you can do. And it is only when they are sure what you can do that they can speak. Like I've gotten messages that people are recommending me. I was like, okay, who recommended me? I don't even know the person. I don't know the person from anywhere, right? But he just mentioned that, okay, this person mentioned your name, this person mentioned your name. Your name came up when we were discussing about someone that can build our project for us. Okay, who said that? I don't know the person. It might be someone from my Instagram or from my LinkedIn and all of that. But because they know that, okay, Grace is a developer. Okay, now that I'm in Web3, a lot of people even come to me. Someone told me that you're in Web3, please, can you do this for us? And all of that. So it's because they've seen my works. Because if they've not seen me do Web3, they won't say I'm in Web3, right? So if they've not seen you do what you say you do, they won't say, oh, this person, Temidayo is a writer. They won't say you're a writer if they've not seen you write. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So and when people speak for you, even where your own leg cannot reach, because people are speaking for you, opportunities will get you there, right? So that's in tech, there are a lot of opportunities, but how you reach those opportunities matters, right? It is not about sitting in the corner of your room. There are a lot of opportunities, I would say. It comes from networking. It comes from who is speaking on your behalf, which I mentioned that time. It comes from letting people know what you do. I'm not saying you should brag. You don't need to brag. You don't need to brag about it, but just show your works. Show what you've done, right? It gives people a sense of, okay, you know what you are doing. Even if nobody is doing as if they are not seeing it, is a lie. They are seeing it. It's a social media. That's why it's called social. So people that do as if they are not seeing you, is a lie. They are seeing you. So now if someone saw that, okay, I built a web app, and now they want to build a web app, I saw this lady on LinkedIn. What's her name again? They might just go and look for me on LinkedIn. And that's how opportunities come to you, even if you are not looking for it, right? And that's because of what you have done, of what they've seen you do, of the sacrifices you made to actually put yourself out there. So yes, my friends, tech is very profitable, but yeah, there are things you do to actually get the money to you. There are people that in 3 years, they start working with big companies outside Nigeria. In 3 years, right? And it's because of what they've done. So that's why learning from elders also help you. I have bosses that they are 10 years in coding and they are working with companies after me outside Nigeria, right? They've even relocated. But me, I'm 6 years in coding and I've achieved like a little or like close to what they've achieved. That's because I actually followed them. I learned from their mistake. They guided me. Now it took them 10 years, but it took me 6 years. So someone that wants to learn from me, it can take the person like 4 years, 3 years. You get that process. So that's how it is. Learning, like I said, learning from people that have come before you is something that actually help you in growth, so that you won't just be learning whatever you shouldn't be learning. So yeah, seek to give value, put yourself out there. Don't be an introvert in the sense that is how I am. People will say that, I don't like social media. Even companies like social media. I don't know what's your own problem, right? I know friends that don't really post much, right? But their social media is not just there. You get? They set it up, even if they don't post. If you go to their LinkedIn, they set it up. Okay, I am a seasoned front end. Like they just sell themselves in their profile, even they don't have too much work. So anybody can reach out to them. Okay, I saw on your profile, you are this, you are that. Can we see some of the works you've done? So they can now send it to those people, right? So it's just in two ways, any way you want to do it. But don't be like a foolish introvert that says, I'm just there. I am who I am. Then you're just in the corner of your room, crying and complaining that there's no money, there's no this, tech is not profitable for me. But what have you done? That's the question. What have you done to actually get the money or get it profitable for you? So there are steps, there are processes to these things. And I actually say something, which will be my last point. Like if you are looking up to someone, so let's say I'm looking up to Jeff Bezos. I want to be rich like Jeff Bezos. Oh my God. I'm chasing Jeff Bezos. And I'm like, I'll be rich up to Jeff Bezos one day. One day is coming, but I'm not doing what Jeff Bezos did. But I want to be rich like him. Is that possible? No, it's not. Because if I want what Jeff Bezos has, I have to do what he did. And probably not make his mistake, because yes, there's Bezos one, but you have to, do you know the sacrifices he has made? Do you know the things he has gotten into to actually get to where he got to? So like, if you want what they want, you have to do what they did. You have to do it. Like when I started coding, my boss then, he was telling me that he only sleeps 4 hours a day. I was telling him that I cannot sleep 4 hours a day. Or my own sleep will be 10 hours. Or like, look at you. Don't worry. You're coming to the point. Except I don't want the result. But yes, there came a point where I just slept 3 hours a day. And it came a point where I slept 4 hours. But it was looking like, why are you stressing yourself? It's sacrifice. And because of those sacrifices, they are seeing the results, right? So if you want what Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, all of them want, you have to do what they did. You have to make the sacrifices they made. So you can't be saying it by mouth. You have to actually do the work and put in the work. So it doesn't just come to you. You have to actually do what is necessary to actually get it profitable for you. And let me tell you, there's a point you get in tech based on your journey, your sacrifices. I mentioned it yesterday too, that there's a time you chase the money, right? You chase it like mad. There was a time I had to, I need to make money, or you take 4 projects at a time, then you not sleep. You don't have rest, you have peace of mind, right? And there are times you just come that Like recently, I've been rejecting projects. Why? Because I don't even want to stress myself too much, right? I just want to focus on what I'm doing and also my personal brand, right? So there are times that I will just think, I will look at my account. Hey, Grace, you need money, take it. Grace, you need money, take this. Grace, you need money. So I mentioned that there's a time you actually chase the money, right? And there's a time that when you are fully grown yourself and you have become the value that companies, people want, they will start chasing you. And which is the truth? They will start chasing you. You start getting DMs. You start getting proposals. You start getting, please come to our company. We can pay you $10K. It's possible. It's possible. It's the stage you can get to. But then work must have been done. So it's just like your work meets opportunity. Then that's success, right? Yeah, so that's it.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. So Toby, what we're discussing was you sharing some of your wins with us, and also answering the question of whether tech is profitable, and if so, how do you achieve monetary success or financial success in tech?
Okay, I should share some of my words with you.
Some of your wins so far, like what are the
my wins.
successes you've made?
Okay. That's a serious issue. All right. I think I have wins in the 3 fields I'm playing in. And my wins comes from working with, people and teams. All right. So I'll share my story with this company, a fintech company I worked with in Lagos. This is a company that is not popular. You might have even not heard the name before. It's called Assemble Lab, right? And Assemble Lab has changed its name to Vend HQ now. I left Assemble Lab 2020. Yeah, 2020. Okay, so I had a lot of wins at Assemble Lab. I worked majorly with banks, microfinance banks, and commercial banks, Credit Direct, UBA, Empire Trust Banks, all those microfinance banks and commercial banks. And what we were doing is we were building and deploying fintech applications to solve their problems, basically. So I was part of the teams that built most of those systems for them, designed both mobile and web. There I was working as a product designer, but like I mentioned before, I was also doing front-end and back-end work, right? Because the team is small and they don't want to hire too many people. It's a company that is making about 40 million naira in a month. That's the kind of company I was working in. So we're working with banks majorly. So and designed the front end, design the product, both web and mobile, do the front end and all of that. And also we built savings and loans app. We built apps for health, companies in health. We built apps for companies in the loan application industry, people that lend people money and all of that. Also, we worked with international brands and companies, people that want to build applications. I remember I worked with a radio corporation. I've forgotten the name of that radio corporation. Basically, it's a US-based radio corporation. We worked with some US clients too. And also we built in-house products. For example, we built a product that allows people to make, payments, collect payments, send money, receive money, pay salaries and all of that. I was the one who designed the whole interface, also integrate all the APIs. They've had the product before I joined. So when I joined, I revamped the whole product, did the designs and all of that. And the product is part of the products that we deploy for all these commercial banks and these microfinance banks. They use it a lot, right? That's what they use to make money, pay their employees and all of that. Also, we built a platform for tech talents, platform that can help companies set up a remote tech team and then give them a project and they will execute that project. So tech talents will sign up on the platform. The company will sign up. They would pick the tech talent they want, set up the team, and then they will pay the tech talent maybe on a contract basis, right? The first day we launch, we built that product for about 8 to 9 months. We started February, we launched by the end of October. The first day we launched, we had over 1,000 signups, right? That very single day, we have over 1,000 signups, and then most of the tech talents on that platform got jobs from companies that I mean they were executing and all of that. So that's for Assemble Lab. I worked at a blockchain and a fintech company. That's Coxina Limited. We built a P2P platform, a spot trading platform, and instant swap platform, right? That's a product on par with Binance. You know, Binance is the leading blockchain company in the blockchain industry right now. And this is not some, we didn't build this on a particular technology that someone has built. We practically run every single blockchain networks that we have. We run every them. We are running nodes. We built applications talking to these nodes and all of that. And we have a lot of, we don't have a lot of Nigerian users. We have a lot of international users. We raised money in September. That was, they raised money before I joined. That was in September 2020. They raised 200K. That's about 80 million naira then. And then they are still in the process of raising another round. So I was the one, when I came in, there's no UI, UX, there's nothing, right? So I designed the whole product. I also integrate the whole thing in the front end. So I did the whole front end thing. There was a back-end engineer, of course, right? So I didn't have to do a lot of things in that. And I was also responsible for bringing in other people to come and work in the company that also make the company grow a lot. I had to leave because of some things. It's not fight or anything. I just have to move on. All right. So, and I'm joining another company soon. It's a gaming platform. I'm joining. I think I'm resuming by June 2nd. Right. So those are some of my wins. And I mean, personally, my wins also has been, remember I said, I want to be able to teach what I am learning. So I've been able to found a platform that is building a proprietary digital classroom in Nigeria, teaching people tech skills, right? Basically, we are basically teaching people front-end, back-end, and design. I'm the only person taking front-end and design. Back-end and design. I have a facilitator taking front-end, right? And I'm also taking blockchain courses by the side, right? Basically, and we've been training students. We are currently in our first cohort, and we are also in the process of raising a seed capital, to further expand that thing. And the reason why I said we are building a proprietary digital classroom is because some of our competitors, they have this platform, they have the brand, they have the name. I could mention one, Utiva, Old School Africa, but Decagon, if you know those people. But one thing I found out is that those guys don't have a digital classroom, right? And this is something we could easily do, just because we have the experience, basically. So, and I've been able to be the one to build that digital classroom, both front end, back end, and design. I just did it all by myself. And there's a reason for that, but I had to do it. So that's one of my wins. Also, we are building a product like a digital online store for people that are selling stuff or people that own supermarkets or mini marts. And one of the things we are trying to do is to make cryptocurrency a form of payment for businesses on that platform, right? There are businesses doing that today, like Prosper, like Bumper, if you know some of these businesses. But one thing is they don't have that unique feature that allows people to pay with cryptocurrency. And that's one of the things we are bringing as a uniqueness into the product. And these are some of my wins. I've worked with a lot of other companies in terms of side gigs and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so how am I able to, be financially stable? All right, so the first thing I'm going to say is, seriously, these days, tech is really getting competitive. It's gradually getting competitive. And that's what I figured out in the last 3 months. It's gradually getting competitive, and that was I mean, that's what I meant when I said the other time that companies are now looking for smart people. Like Grace said, you really have to know your craft if you want to be able to make that money. There's blood money in tech, seriously. I mean, you can do simple thing and charge, I mean, a whole lot of money for it, and you see a company that will pay you that money. All right. And what you are really doing is that is like something that you can really do in like 2 days and just be laughing and be eating chicken, right? So there's blood money in tech, but the thing is, you have to know your craft. These days, I get a lot of DMs on LinkedIn, like Grace mentioned. I get a lot of DMs on LinkedIn, and these are international companies. In fact, there's one meeting I had with a man trying to build a blockchain company, and he's just starting. He wants me to come and join the company and be a part of people that starts the company. All right. So, but like Grace said the other time, you have to know your craft and you have to put yourself out there, right? There are people that are extroverts. They like to post like Grace. They like to write and, just to get themselves out there. People have to know what you can do, right? And there are people like Grace also mentioned. They are introverts, but they don't just leave their social media, or they don't just leave building networks or creating relationships. They don't just leave it there, right? They make sure that they consistently build these things, right? And these are things that you need to do, all right? But one key thing is you have to know your craft. And like Grace said, you don't just learn and then do, right? No, you learn, you do. As a matter of fact, for me, you learn, you do, you learn, you do. That's the way, seriously, because people really need to know what you have done before they can get to pay you the kind of money you really want to be paid, all right? I know a lot of bosses, and I mean my seniors, who works in a big company. Most of my seniors today, I mean the seniors that I said we are working together while I was in school, they are now heading banks, right? They are heading banks. Most of them are out of the country. Ghana, Kenya, Tokyo, Singapore, Australia. They are working majorly in the fintech industry. They are heading banks, right? And this is because they know their craft. People know what they can do, right? And projects come to them. And let me tell you one thing is, when you know what you do, you have a lot of things that you are doing. Apart from your full-time job, you have a lot of side gigs, right? And these side gigs, they are not there for you to, to just say, well, I'm just using this to make money, right? They are also there for you to create relationships, because these are relationships that would lead you to other side gigs and other people, right? So I'm working, I'm running a company, all right? My company is incorporated in the US, and there are two other companies. It's a parent company that has two other companies, right? And I'm also going to resume a full-time job very soon, right? Also, I'm working with 2 Canadian clients, right? I'm building a blockchain product for one. I'm building the talent management platform for one, right? So I have a full-time job, and I have some other things that I'm doing. Now, what I want to bring out from that is that when you know your craft and you know what you are doing, projects will find you, companies will find you, people will find you, all right? Based on what Grace has said, put yourself out there. Let people know what you are doing. Create relationships. Don't just put yourself out there. When you meet anyone, make sure you create a long-lasting relationship, getting them to know what you are doing and what you can do. This is how, projects come to you. And that's how the money you want to make comes to you, right? Though tech is not a get-rich-quick scheme or get-rich-quick platform. But the thing is, there's blood money in tech. And these are the ways you can actually make those money. And those are the ways I have been able to, sustain my finances over time, right? And now I'm building a company. I don't want to be doing a lot of side gigs anymore. I want to put all of that in a structured business, so that when these people now come, I'll be able to even charge more than I'm charging individually. I can charge as a company. They pay into my company account, and then I can also provide jobs for more people, right, that are coming in tech, build them, and also help them build their career. All right, I think I've said a lot.
Wow, thank you so much. Thanks to Grace who had to leave just a few minutes ago. Thank you so much for sharing, especially about how to make money and the fact that it's not automatic. You have to work for it and you have to be smart. You have to put yourself out there, talk about what you're doing and be really good at it. We have come to the end of this. I didn't expect us to spend this long actually. But before we go, to everyone listening, in the comment section, whether on YouTube or on Zoom, you can find Toby's website to see more about his company and what he's doing. You can also find links to Grace's ebooks. One is a free ebook on blockchain technology. If you just want to have like an introduction into blockchain, go there and download the free ebook. And then there's also a paid full ebook, to know more about what Grace, to know more about blockchain technology as well. Please also have inserted the link to a feedback form to give feedback about the 2 days of this program. What were the things that you learned, and what are the things that you want to see more on such a program as this, especially in tech or even not in tech. I've also included a link to a mentoring program I've set up. It's a 2-month program, and in the period I may be bringing in speakers to just speak with 4 people, just 4 mentors, mentees to be selected, especially whether you are trying to go into a career in tech or a career that is not in tech. So you can just send me your application and it will be reviewed. So thank you everyone for joining on day 1 and day 2. Thank you so much to Emmanuel. Thanks to Grace as well. So we are going to share this replay with everyone who registered and also on certain social media platforms. Thank you for sharing your story once again. So do have a good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.